keeping our youth here and keeping them out of trouble, I think, is one of our biggest challenges.
Hockey's great in the winter, but it costs a fair amount of money and a lot of parental commitment. Something for the other kids, 1 or 2 nights a week to go and get stuff out of their system, get away from their parents.
And also to integrate the teen community with the adult community. It seems to me that there really isn't a place where the two mingle.
And they just need a place to be themselves and have an outlet to be with their friends. And I just don't think that we're providing that for our youth.
And just a hangout place for kids, because, you see them walking around and they're just like, they're looking for something to do. If there were something for them to do, they would probably do it.
It would be nice to have a place set up where, for example, you could have live theater one night, or musical production.
There are so many talented craftspeople and artists in the area but we don't have a venue for them to showcase their talent.
Well, I'd love to do that on a Sunday in Bridgetown, to go down into Jubilee and sit around the bandstand and listen to a concert, all different styles.
There's a few. We played in the park, Dayliner, Bridgetown's premier indie rock band. We played in the park on a Sunday, and we had about 40 people there. And that park, Jubilee Park, could hold 4,000. So it looked a little bit on the light side, but I mean, it was a free show in the park, and why can't we do things like that more often?
The other big thing I think Bridgetown doesn't do, going back to the negative, is tourism. We're a beautiful town, beautiful, but everyone heads to Annapolis Royal. I know Annapolis Royal has the history, but in terms of scenery, they have nothing more than we do. We're certainly more community. We need somewhere for people to stop and eat and something to do.
To me, it seems rather tragic if somebody passes Bridgetown to go down to Annapolis or to Digby, because that stretch of the 101 is, fairly it's just, it's
boring.
It's boring. It's got some nice spots, but when you get off in Bridgetown, you can go down Highway 1 or 201, which I think is one of the most beautiful stretches of highway that I've seen anywhere.
My husband and I often talk about how if cultural and social and even tourist and economic development could be re-established on the river, then that would be a great asset and a drawing card for Bridgetown.
We also have Inglewood community that's unique.
We've got an historical community.
I mean, you could include the Acadians, the Planters Loyalists, you have the black population, you have the Mi'kmaq.
It is very surprising to me and to my husband Daniel that you could come into Bridgetown, and unless you went out of your way to either A, go to the town hall and look at the photographs on display in the foyer of the town hall, or B, if you were to go to the museum, if you could find it, and if you knew it was there, and if it was open, and if you took the time to go and look at its photo exhibits, or C, if you went down to the seating area on the east side of the river bank and looked at those photographs. With the exception of that, you wouldn't know that this town was founded on river trade. And I think that is a huge area that the town and the community could be looking at, as I said, for social, cultural, economic and environmental development in the town.
So everything's interconnected, getting the population back up and getting the population back up on all levels of demographics so that we can keep those community-based events going and branch out from the traditional athletics into things like the live theater and the music and all of those other sort of cultural and artistic things that make great towns great.
Yeah.
Not just the dollars, the footfall is encouraging too.
So many people, on a Saturday as a tradesperson, you say there's hardly anyone in town on a Saturday in Bridgetown. They all leave the area.
I'd also like us to improve our visibility.
Marketing. I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of marketing going on within the town.
I think that we have the worst signs of any town in the world, and we really need to upgrade our signs.
Something as simple as, an improved town website.
Get something of high quality that the Kingstons and the Middletons and the Annapolis Royals have. And I think we need to make a statement that says Bridgetown, welcome. We're open for business.
No, Bridgetown, there's no Bridgetown propaganda. There's no Bridgetown spin. But if you go to the Bridgetown website, they're really underselling themselves. And it's kind of maybe something they should look at changing.
But the community, the biggest thing they can do is shop locally.
If we don't support our local businesses in the town and, go and buy a shirt or go and buy lumber within Bridgetown, then I think we're going to have a problem.
If you take Graves for an example, our supermarket in town, and people will say, oh, why should I pay an extra 20 cents or 50 cents on my laundry detergent when I can save that by going to Greenwood?
But then they're spending that money in gas, and in the end they're not saving any money. Yeah. And if we don't support locally, then those businesses will close, and we want those businesses to stay.
Is it worth it, whereas the store in town employs 20 people, 30 people, between the bakery and the students and the full-time workers and everything else? It's quite a big employer for the town.
Yep.
And being proud of where you live, I think still in rural Nova Scotia, word of mouth and community pride are probably two of the best things that you can do to encourage growth. Yes,
and if just once a month that was Bridgetown instead of Greenwood, then that would be a big impact on everyone. Because if once a month they're coming into town, then they're going to visit the 2.5 stores that are still here and cut them.